Hi everybody, thanks for joining Create with Dee. Today we'll be making this cute little pumpkin. It's made by using one of the Circle Framelit dies, the typeset newsprint, and some other goodies. So let's get started making this cute little fall project. What we're going to need is 9 circles die cut from the Circle Framelit collection die. This is from the 4th size in, including the scallop. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, grab that one. And so this one measures, I believe, 3 3/4 inches. And out of 1 sheet of designer paper, you can get 9 of these. And so that's why I wanted to use 9 circles. You can use more or less. I just wanted to show what 1 sheet of designer paper would look like. Again, using the typeset designer paper, so super trendy. So we're going to die cut 9 of those out using our Big Shot, and I've already done that. And what we want to do next is take either the Stampin' sponge or a sponge dauber. Grab your favorite orange. I'm just happening to use Tangerine Tango. And we want to ink around the edges on both sides of our circle. Okay, so I'm using the Stampin' sponge, and you can cut these into quarters, cut them into 4 slices, kind of like you're slicing a piece of pie. Cut them into 4 wedges using your scissors. Okay, and you can pull in the color as deep as what you want, or or just around the edges, whatever your fancy is on that. So do that on all 9 circles. Next, what we want to do is fold each circle in half. If there's an orientation to your paper, like so this one has wording on it, I want to make sure that I fold it so that when I open it up, that the words or your design is going in the right orientation. See how the words are that way? So that way, if you want to have an orientation, just make sure that you have that. With the typeset paper, it's so lightweight. You can use your bone folder if you like to get the crisp edges, but it's almost light enough that you can almost just finger press it and it'll be fine. So we're going to do that to all 9 of our circles. Next, after they're all folded in half, you want to take some strong adhesive like Tombow, and we're going to add adhesive just along the fold line of our pumpkin. Okay, so just a little bead of glue, and then we're going to stack it. Kind of line up the edges. If as you're stacking your edges go off slightly, it's really no big deal. The project's fairly forgiving, which it's always fun to find those projects. As you can see, it's like I put a little bit of adhesive down, put a little bit of the multi-purpose liquid glue, put the next layer on it, and then so when you have all 9 of them stacked, you get something like this. Your work surface may be a little sticky, like mine is right there where the multi-purpose Tombow glue came out. Okay, next what we want to do is we want to insert our stem. Now we can do this 2 different ways. One, we can take a scrap piece of some of your brown cardstock. This happens to be chocolate chip. And we can just freehand cut out a stem. So you want to make it kind of chunky because we will fold it over. Okay, so you can make out like a little stem that looks like that. And how I did this one is I just kind of folded it over and maybe twisted it a little bit. You can get a really kind of fun looking stem. Really making the stem is no big deal. You basically can just twist up some brown tone cardstock. But what I wanted to try today is adding sticks. So I went out into nature, yes, and I got a twig of the size of the stem that I wanted. And I'm just going to take some office tape to keep that down. If you were using the cardstock, you'd use more Tombow glue to keep that in there. And I want to try to get it fairly close to the edge. I'm going to take some of this off. And I'm going to just tape it right down. Try to get that a little more angled over there so that it's more in the center. And there we go. Okay, and then for the rest of this, what I want to do is we're going to open up the ends and we're going to adhere the back sides together so that this is one complete circle. Okay, so there it is closed again. Taking the Tombow. Now this time, not only do I want to do the seams, or where the fold is, but I also want to make sure I get fairly close to the outer edges, because this is what's going to keep our pumpkin all together in the circle. So again, I'm going to take this and put those back sides together, sandwiching in either my twig or my twisted piece of brown tone, in this case chocolate chip cardstock. And there we have our little pumpkin. And you can fluff it up, but what we want to do first, before we start doing that, is I'm going to take a pair of scissors. And this is just some old office scissors since I'm going through many layers. And I'm going to cut, I don't know, maybe a 1/2 inch off of the bottom. And that's going to give us a flat edge for our little pumpkin to, to rest flat on the surface. Now we want to come back through and open each of those up and re-add, some of our Tangelo, what do I have on this? Tangerine Tango. So many different oranges in my head right now. And just get that applied to the bottom of each one. So open up each of our little pages that we folded in half and then glued together. And they'll be a little bit different sizes. It just depends on where the glue stuck. And we just want to make sure we bring back that color on the bottom of each of the pages. Okay, it looks like I'm back there. Kind of like the twig. Like both. I like the paper because you wouldn't have to go out and necessarily have to hunt outside for it. And I won't do this right now here, but you just kind of keep fluffing it up until you get what you like. So cute. On the sample here, I added a little give thanks tag to the stem. So the greeting comes from and many more. It's a sentiment stamp set from Stampin' Up. And what I want to do when I punch it using a coordinating punch, the word window, is I want to give a little room off to the left so that I can punch a hole to put my baker's twine or linen thread through. I'm going to use the 1/8 handheld punch from Stampin' Up. And I'm going to punch a hole so that it easily threads the, that I can easily thread my my baker's twine through it. The leaf comes from the Fun Fall die set. Oh my gosh, I'm tongue-tied here. And the banner is from the banner framelit die. So this is from Fun Fall, the banners framelit, and using the word window punch. And then just from the sewing section in any hobby store, I got these little threading needles to make it easier to thread our baker's twine. So how these little doohickeys work is that you put the end through what you want to, drag the thread through. And now instead of trying to eyeball it in super little fashion, it's got a little larger place for the thread to come through. Then you just pull it through. And it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now I'm just going to tie this on to my twig, and you can, put it down and tie it. And I'm using, in this, the sample we're making together, I'm using the gold thread baker's twine, and it's going to have a really neat little effect here, and you'll see that in just a second. You can tie a bow or tie a knot, just so that I'm not under pressure of the camera to tie a bow. I'm just going to tie a knot in this case, and you can kind of position it where you want. I'm going to trim down the baker's twine a little bit. And kind of the neat thing with this baker's twine is that you can twist the gold thread that's in it and get these really neat little twisty elements. So that's kind of fun. Okay, and that's it. Then it's just a matter of fluffing it up, and I'll show you what that looks like. So when you're all done, you have a cute little circle paper pumpkin that you can add to all of your other fun fall decorations. The height can be varied by just depending on how much you snip off on the bottom. I hope you enjoyed this fun little project, and as always, happy crafting. Bye-bye.